Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Adventures in Book Hunting. Obviously, I'm trying something a little different today. I am not in a cabin in the woods. I am actually in a city park, not too far from home. Um, Very nice setting. We'll see how this works. It works for book build, so maybe it'll work for me. In any event, what kind of inspired this video is a work trip I made into Virginia yesterday. And my visit to the Commonwealth, I think, was pretty successful, both professionally and book hunting wise. And I've got a pretty good number of books, some interesting stuff. And I just wanted to talk about those and share those with you. Let's see. First off, two books that I'm keeping. Um, you guys may have seen my short. I found a penguin in the wild. Um, there's a tear on the cover of this book where I was trying my best to remove a very obnoxious used book sticker from the front of this thing, and I did all right. It's good enough for me. Once again, it's a penguin, so I don't know anything about the author or the book. But it's a mm, one generation back penguin, and I don't have to know what it is to want to keep it if it's a penguin. So that one's mine. Now, the next one I got that I'm going to keep is a collection of Agatha Christie's short stories. These are all Miss Marple short stories. And I am on an ongoing mission to collect all of the original works of Agatha Christie. And by original, I mean her words, not the creatively edited editions that are being sold now without any disclaimer, where modern politically oriented editors are actually changing her words, substituting. I don't know what the right term is, but modern language to correct deficiencies in the politics and morality of Agatha Christie's original prose. At least that's the thought. Tend to talk a little more about that sort of thing next week. As a little bit of foreshadowing, next week is Banned Books Week. I'm going to have a video specifically about that week, that commemoration, and my thoughts on not so much book banning, but book censorship. Hey, Beth, let's get to the heart of the matter. The rest of these books are going to go to the Hatter. First stack I've got, and let's see if I've got them all. Yes. A nice stack of very nice Amish romances. This one looks fairly standard. Okay, it's part of the Love Inspired line. These other three are a neat combo of genre. These are Amish romance, but they're also suspense novels. People are doing some, what's the word? How about innovative things with Amish romance these days? But the store has customers who really appreciate the genre, and so whenever I can find it, especially, in that kind of condition, almost brand new, I'm gonna get it. Um, One I got a Louis L'Amour. Um, Louis L'Amour is the one Western author that the store can't keep on the shelves. A few weeks back, I got some really nice collector's editions. Kind of curious. I'm going to see those folks today. Curious to see if they've sold any. But, they can always sell Louis L'Amour. Let's see. Where else to go next? Let's do some kids stuff next. Um, Here we go. Got a movie tie-in cover for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The first book in the Narnia series. Don't let people fool you, and particularly the modern editions that say it's the second. It is not. This is the first. This was the first one published. You should read them in publication order, not chronological order. Just my gripe for the day. But yeah, it's a nice cover. Once again, brand new condition. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a set that I got at a thrift store, 25 cents. And I know these next two I got at the same thrift store. A Disney Descendants novel. I have a granddaughter who was big into the Descendants. Don't know if she still is, but nice serviceable copy. You know, this Disney Channel original tie-ins still popular. I don't think the store will have a lot of problems with that. Here's a book that I have seen in the wild many, many times. This is The Surprise Attack of Jabba the Puppet, an origami handbook, Star Wars tie-in. And there are several of these. You can get one for Yoda, Darth Vader, Wookiees, R2-D2. But, you have a story, right, with little spot illustrations and instructions in the back on how to make your own origami creations from the Star Wars universe. And this one, of course, is Jabba the Hutt. And this one has the cards that come in it. Now, I find there's of course Jabba. I found this book many, many times, but this is the first time I've ever found one intact. And for a quarter, I could not pass it up. So that goes to the store. Let's see. I'm passingly familiar with this author. YA, Matched by Ali Condi, if I'm saying that right. The blurb says the hottest YA title to hit bookstores since the Hunger Games, and that is a big claim. But in any event, it seems like the store always could use more good YA. So that one definitely should do well. It's from Speak. I look for that emblem, that publishing imprint all the time. It's a lot of popular YA, so anything from Speak, I'm at least going to take a look at. This one was in such a nice condition, I knew I had to snag it. If I'm not mistaken, I got these from a chain thrift store. So paid a little more for these, but a show tie-in cover for The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I've hauled this one several times. Of course, read it and owned it myself. When I drop these off, I say, this is a contribution for your dystopian fiction section. And just from what I brought in, they could do a pretty good one. 1984, Brave New World, Clockwork Orange. Oh, what have I brought in recently besides that? But anyway, and actually, the book Utopia by Thomas More, I consider to be very dystopian. And I got him that one not too long ago. Next, a personal favorite of mine, my favorite true crime slash general history, narrative history book by the great Eric Larson. He has a new book out about the start of the American Civil War that I have not gotten yet, but I really want. I try and read everything I can from Eric Larson. He writes beautifully. He writes history that reads like a novel, and this was certainly no exception. An interesting dual narrative. One half of this book, it tells you about the story of H.H. Holmes, America's first to some serial killer, who was stalking women off the grounds of the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. The other half of the book is the story of the people who put that fair together, the architects and planners, and just a general good history of that event, the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, which was a pivotal cultural event. This is a book I recommend just widely to just about anybody. Just a great book. I think I like his book In the Garden of Beasts a little better, but Devil in the White City is an awesome book. Next, I got a nice classic. Got East of Eden by John Steinbeck. There, of course, is Mr. Steinbeck smoking a cigarette. This is a really nice edition. It's actually, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to keep this one because of that little guy. It's a penguin. It doesn't say it's a penguin deluxe, but it sure looks like a penguin deluxe. You get the French flaps, right? Deckled edges. It's built very much like a Penguin Classic, but it doesn't say Penguin Classic. And I'm very certain I already have a copy of East of Eden. So I will probably suppress my book dragonish impulses and get this one to the store. Just a really nice edition. Let's see. We only have three more. Let's do the other classic next. Um, Virgil's The Aeneid, translated by Robert Fitzgerald. I have this very edition myself in a trade paperback format. Um, I've only read a couple of different translations of the Aeneid, and I actually have not read this one, I don't think. The one I have my shelf copy now. And I read the Aeneid, goodness, probably in high school. Um, Probably need at some point in life need to reread it because I'm sure I'd appreciate it a lot more now than I did then. But this is a fairly nice edition. It's ex-library, but no, it's still a very nice one. I have read, I believe Fitzgerald's translation of either the Iliad or the Odyssey. He does fairly well, I think. And yeah, this is a second printing of the first edition. So, in event, that'll go in their classic section. It's a real nice one. And finally, two books that kind of presented a theme for yesterday's hunt. I found these in two different places. Um, they're both Doctor Who related. Uh, this one, if I'm not mistaken, this came from a private thrift store, and it cost me a quarter. And this is the autobiography of Elizabeth Sladen. And for those of you who don't recognize who Elizabeth Sladen is, it's probably more than I imagined, because Elizabeth Sladen was a companion on Doctor Who, both in the older series for two Doctors, the third Doctor played by John Pertwee, and probably most famously the fourth Doctor. And there's a picture of her with the fourth Doctor, played by Tom Baker. And there's the TARDIS, of course, in the background. Um, was a main companion of those two Doctors, overlapped both Doctors. And was back in the day was a fan favorite. She was when my friends and I were watching Doctor Who on PBS back in the early '80s. She was probably everyone's favorite companion. There were a few guys who were really into the wildness of Leela. I myself, I liked Sarah Jane, but who was the character that she portrayed. But oh, I don't know. There was something about Perry. And Perry was one of the main companions. She overlapped two doctors. The fifth doctor, played by Peter Davison, and the sixth doctor, played by Colin Baker. I did not care for Colin Baker's portrayal of the Doctor at all, but I did appreciate Perry, his companion. In any event, real nice, fairly nice addition. May have to convince the store to take this. But I think they might, because even modern Doctor Who fans who like the revival series might be interested, because she reprised her role playing Sarah Jane. I know during the David Tennant years. I watched a few of those episodes myself, but anyway, yeah, start of a slight Doctor Who theme. And the last book I'm going to show you, I got to think at the chain thrift store, and it's a Doctor Who book. As you can see. Sorry. The Dalek Project. Okay. And I'd imagine it probably originally had a dust jacket. It's still in really good shape, but as you can see, it's a hardback graphic novel. And I need to look through here to see. Oh, yes, it's modern stuff. Look at that. It's Matt Smith. Matt Smith as the Doctor in a Dalek adventure. Oh, man. Beautiful art. I love finding good graphic novels out in the wild. Just wish this one had a dust jacket. Other than that, just a really nice find. Um, I know I've got way too many books to form a pyramid, but maybe in two parts. Okay. Yeah, there's one stack and another. Um, and I think I got to say where I sourced some of these. This was my only little free library find. Once again, I'm keeping that one. Uh, those I think I talked about. Those came from a private Christian-based thrift store. And all of these I found on the sale shelves of a public library. That's why they're amongst the cheapest. Well, for all intents and purposes, practically free. But yeah, Amish romance westerns and a book for me. In any event, hope you enjoyed the haul. I hope this setting works. It's a nice overcast day. The lighting should be fairly decent. Um, nice change of pace from the library room at the cabin in the woods. In any event, I think I will wrap up there and tell you folks goodbye until next time. Um, let's see. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you again very soon. Thank you.